When I first moved in with Claire, I thought it was going to be the perfect living arrangement. We had been best friends since freshman year of college. We studied together, pulled all-nighters before exams, and even survived the horror of cafeteria food by splitting boxes of instant noodles in our dorm room. By the time junior year rolled around, we were both ready to get off campus and into our own place. I remember the day we signed the lease. The apartment smelled faintly of fresh paint and carpet cleaner, the kind of scent that makes you feel like you're starting fresh. The walls were plain white, the windows big enough to let in golden afternoon light, and the kitchen, well, the kitchen was tiny, but it was ours. Claire squealed and spun in the living room. "This is going to be so fun, Jenna. Just us, no RA breathing down our necks, no quiet hours. Freedom!" Her excitement was contagious. I grinned, already imagining movie nights, cooking experiments, and late-night conversations on the couch. We agreed right then how we'd split things. Rent would be 50-50, no debate. As for utilities, electric, water, gas, and internet, we decided to put them under one name for simplicity. Since I was the more organized one, it made sense for everything to be under mine. Claire promised she'd transfer me her half every month. "It'll be easy," she said, tossing her hair back. "We'll just Venmo each other, no drama." At first, everything went smoothly. Rent checks were paid, and utilities came through like clockwork. When the first electric bill arrived, I texted Claire the total and her half. She sent the money within an hour. Same with water. Same with internet. I thought to myself, wow, we're actually adulting. This is great. But by month 3, little cracks started to show. One evening, I was sitting on the couch flipping through the mail when I noticed the water bill had gone up. Not by much, maybe $20. But I remembered Claire had been taking long showers every morning, the kind that filled the bathroom with steam for hours. When I mentioned it, she laughed. "Sorry, I just love hot showers." "Don't worry, I'll cover my half." She sent it late, but she sent it. No big deal, right? Except it didn't stop there. The first time Claire didn't send her half right away, she had a reason. "I'll get you Friday, okay?" she said, pulling her blanket tighter around her shoulders as we watched Netflix. "My paycheck doesn't hit until then." I nodded, trying to be understanding. "Sure, no problem." Friday came. No money. "Oops, I forgot," she said with a sheepish grin when I reminded her. "I'll do it tomorrow." Saturday passed. Then Sunday. By Monday, after a week of back and forth, she finally sent me the payment. It annoyed me, but I told myself it was just a one-time thing. Except it wasn't. The next month, it happened again. And again. Each time, there was an excuse. My car insurance came out of my account unexpectedly. I had to buy new shoes for work. "I'll just pay you when my refund check comes." Meanwhile, the bills kept stacking up in my name. I paid them on time because I didn't want late fees, and more importantly, I didn't want my credit ruined. I told myself, she's my friend. She'll get caught up eventually. Don't be dramatic. But deep down, a little voice whispered, "You're being used." One night, about 6 months into living together, I stayed up late balancing my budget. My laptop glowed on the kitchen table, the only light in the apartment. I opened my banking app and scrolled through transactions. Rent, $600. Electric, $85. Water, $45. Internet, $60. Gas, $40. Almost every payment had my name on it. And when I looked for Claire's Venmo transfers, they were scattered, irregular, often late. I chewed my lip, my chest tightening. I've been covering almost everything. Just then, I heard the front door open. Claire breezed in, laughing into her phone. She was carrying a shopping bag with a flashy logo from a trendy boutique downtown. She dropped it on the couch, kicked off her shoes, and plopped down next to me. You will not believe the sale I hit today. These jeans were $200, but I got them for $150. Can you believe that steal? I stared at her bag, then back at the spreadsheet glowing on my laptop. She noticed my expression. What? I forced a smile. Nothing. But inside, anger simmered. She could buy expensive jeans, but she couldn't send me $50 for water? It wasn't just the money. It was how careless she was. She left lights on in every room. She cranked the air conditioning down to 65 in summer, then complained she was cold and turned on a space heater. She streamed Netflix on her laptop while the TV played the same show in the background. One morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. to the sound of running water. I stumbled to the bathroom and found the shower running full blast. No one inside. Claire had gone back to bed, warming it up. I shut it off, fuming. Do you know how much water costs? I muttered to myself. But when I brought it up later, she laughed. Relax, Jenna. It's just a little water. You're so uptight sometimes. The real breaking point came one Friday night. I was scrolling through Instagram when Claire's new post popped up. She was grinning on a beach, a colorful drink in her hand. The caption read, "Weekend getaway. Living my best life." I blinked in disbelief. She hadn't sent me her half of the utilities in over 2 months. She had no money, but here she was sipping cocktails on the coast? I opened my bank app. My account balance glared back at me, barely a few $100s left after covering both of our expenses. My hands shook as I locked my phone. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just annoyed or frustrated. I was done. Claire wasn't a friend anymore. She was a parasite, sucking me dry while smiling in my face. And she had no idea what was coming. What would you do if your roommate never paid utilities while living it up on vacations? Keep covering, or cut them off cold? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more sweet vengeance stories. I didn't sleep the night I saw Claire's beach photo. I tossed and turned under my blanket, staring at the ceiling fan spinning above me. My phone lay on the nightstand, screen dark, but the image was burned into my brain, Claire, drink in hand, smiling like she didn't have a single care in the world. Meanwhile, I was lying awake with barely a few $100s left in my account. I whispered into the dark, how did I let it get this bad? The truth hurt, because I trusted her. Because I thought being friends meant she'd do the right thing. Because I kept telling myself she'd catch up next month. But month after month, she didn't. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table with the stack of bills spread out in front of me. Electric. Water. Internet. Gas. Each one had my name bold at the top. Each one had been paid on time, by me. Claire walked in humming, her hair damp from another long shower. She wore a new sundress I hadn't seen before. She opened the fridge, grabbed a yogurt, and leaned against the counter, scrolling on her phone. "Claire," I said, my voice sharper than I intended. She glanced up. "Yeah?" "We need to talk about the bills." Her eyes flicked to the papers in front of me. Oh my gosh, Jenna, you're like a little accountant. Chill. I told you I'll get you my half. When? I asked, folding my arms. Because you haven't sent me anything in 2 months. She sighed dramatically, like I was a parent nagging her about homework. You know my hours at work got cut. Money's been tight. I pointed to her dress. But you bought that. She laughed. This? It was on clearance. Don't be so uptight. My hands curled into fists under the table. Claire, I'm serious. My account is almost empty because I've been covering both of us. This isn't fair. She set down her yogurt and tilted her head. You make more money than me, Jenna. Isn't it fair that you help me out? You're just better with money. Her words landed like a slap. Better with money? No, I was just the one paying for everything. For the next week, I tried again and again to bring it up. Claire, can you send me your half of the internet? Claire, the electric bill was double this month. I need your share. Claire, rent's due soon. We can't fall behind. Each time, she had an excuse. I'll pay you Friday. My check was smaller than I thought. Don't stress so much, it's just money. And every time, she flipped it back on me. Why are you being so dramatic? You act like I don't care, I'll get to it. You're lucky you can even cover it. I'd be on the street without you. She said it like I should be proud. Like I should be grateful to carry her. At night, lying in bed, I replayed her words until my head hurt. Part of me wondered if maybe she was right. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe friends were supposed to help each other like this. But another part of me, stronger, louder, kept saying, no. This isn't helping. This is using. What made it worse was how little she tried to hide it. She left the TV running while she went out for hours. She blasted the air conditioning so low that I had to wear a sweater in July. She left half-eaten takeout containers in the fridge until they stank. One evening, I came home after a long shift and found the apartment lit up like a Christmas tree. Every light was on. The oven was still warm, and the dishwasher was half full but running. And there was Claire, curled up on the couch under a blanket, scrolling TikTok on her phone while Netflix played on the TV. Do you realize the dishwasher's half empty? I asked, dropping my bag. She shrugged. I didn't want to wait. The oven was still on. Oh, my bad. The AC is at 68. She tugged her blanket tighter. It feels nice, doesn't it? I wanted to scream. Instead, I grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge and shut myself in my room, my heart racing with silent fury. The final straw came one Monday morning. I opened my email before work and froze. Subject line, urgent, electric bill overdue. I clicked it open, my stomach dropping. The total was almost double what it usually was. I scrolled through the breakdown, spikes in usage all weekend long. I hadn't even been home. I'd gone to visit my parents. But Claire? She'd stayed behind. And she'd clearly run the AC non-stop, probably with every light on. I slammed my laptop shut, my pulse pounding in my ears. I couldn't do this anymore. That night, while Claire slept peacefully in her room, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop and a notebook. I pulled up every utility account, electric, water, internet, gas, and started printing statements. I highlighted my payments. I took screenshots of my bank transactions. Page after page, I slipped them into a folder. As the stack grew, I whispered to myself, if she wants to play games, fine. But I'm going to win. I wasn't sure how yet. But I knew I needed proof. Proof of every dollar I'd paid, every time she'd failed to send her half, every excuse she'd given. Because one day soon, I'd need it. The next morning, I tried one last time. "Claire, we need to talk about the bills," I said as she sipped her iced coffee. She rolled her eyes. "Again? Jenna, you're obsessed." "No, I'm broke," I snapped. "I can't keep covering both of us. You have to pay your share." She leaned back, smirking. "Or what? You'll kick me out? You're too nice for that." Her confidence made my blood boil. She really thought I'd never stand up for myself. I didn't say another word. I just picked up my bag and left for work. But as I walked down the street, I promised myself this was the last time she'd ever laugh at me. If your roommate laughed in your face after refusing to pay utilities, would you keep arguing or start planning revenge? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more sweet revenge stories on this channel. The night after, Claire smirked at me and said, "Or what? You'll kick me out?" "You're too nice for that." I sat on my bed staring at the ceiling. Her words rang in my ears like a dare. Too nice. Too soft. Too weak. That was what she thought of me. That I'd keep paying, keep covering, keep suffering, just so she could live like a queen while I drowned. I whispered to myself, she has no idea what's coming. The next morning, I brewed a cup of coffee, opened my laptop, and pulled up all the utility accounts: electric, water, gas, and internet. I called the electric company first. The hold music was tinny and scratchy, but I didn't care. My hands gripped the phone tight as I waited. Finally, a woman's voice came through. "Thank you for calling Bright Star Energy. How can I help you?" I took a breath. "Hi, I need to remove autopay from my account. And I also want to change the primary contact information." She clicked away on her keyboard. "Of course. Who should we list as the new primary contact?" My lips curled into a smile. "Claire Evans." One by one, I spelled out her name, her phone number, her email, the information she'd given me months ago when we moved in. By the end of the call, Claire was the proud new primary contact for the electric bill. I did the same with water, gas, and internet. Each time, I felt a rush of relief, like I was lifting bricks off my chest and setting them on hers. When I hung up the last call, I whispered, "Game on." For the next few days, I acted completely normal. I made dinner, watched TV, even laughed at her stories. When she bragged about a new pair of boots she'd ordered online, I nodded politely. Inside, I was buzzing with anticipation. Because I knew what was coming. It started with the Wi-Fi. On Friday morning, I unplugged the router, slipped it into my tote bag, and carried it to work. All day, my phone buzzed with texts from Claire. "Hey, Wi-Fi's down. Did you call the company? Jenna, I have a Zoom call in 30 minutes. This is serious. OMG, I can't even stream Netflix. What is going on?" By the time I got home, she was pacing the living room, her laptop open on the coffee table. Finally, she cried. "You need to call the internet company right now." I set my bag down calmly. "Why would I do that? You're the account holder now." Her face froze. What? I smiled sweetly. Check your email. They should have sent you the update. Everything's in your name now. She blinked rapidly. You can't do that. I already did. The next week, the bills started rolling in. An envelope on the counter, electric. Another, water. Another, gas. All addressed to Claire. I sat at the table sipping tea as she ripped one open. Her eyes scanned the page, and her face went pale. This is huge, she stammered. Why is it so high? I shrugged. Guess running the AC at 68 all summer isn't cheap. She dropped the bill like it was burning her fingers. This is insane. Jenna, you have to help me. I leaned forward, my voice calm but sharp. Help you? I already did, for months. I kept the lights on, the water running, the internet working, while you bought clothes and went on vacations. You laughed in my face when I asked you to pay me back. Her lips parted, but no words came out. For the first time since we moved in, she looked small. That night, around midnight, she burst into my room without knocking. You ruined my credit, she screamed, waving the bills in her hand. I sat up, blinking at her. Excuse me? They put my name on everything. If I can't pay, it's my credit on the line. You knew what you were doing. I calmly reached into my nightstand drawer and pulled out the folder I'd been building for weeks. I flipped it open, showing her the neat stack of receipts, bank statements, and highlighted bills. I know exactly what I was doing, I said evenly. I kept every record. Every payment I made. Every time you didn't. You can't call me a liar. This, I tapped the folder, is proof. She froze, staring at the papers. You're crazy, she whispered. You're actually insane. I tilted my head. Or maybe I'm just done being your ATM. Over the next few days, Claire unraveled. She slammed cabinets in the kitchen, muttered under her breath, and stomped around the apartment like a storm cloud. One afternoon, I found her on the phone with her mom, her voice trembling. I don't know what to do, Mom. The bills are insane. No, I can't ask Jenna, she's being impossible. I walked past her, smiling to myself. Impossible? No. Just done. That evening, she tried a different tactic. She knocked on my door softly, her voice suddenly sweet. Hey, Jenna. I was thinking, maybe we could split things again, like before? I'll totally pay this time, I promise. I looked her straight in the eyes. No. You wanted the bills in my name so you could dodge responsibility. Now they're yours. Enjoy. Her smile crumbled. The following Friday, she tried to stream a new show, but the internet had been cut off. She pounded on my door. Did you pay the Wi-Fi bill? She demanded. I raised my eyebrows. That's your job now. Didn't you get the notice? She groaned, collapsing on the couch. I can't live like this. You're ruining everything. I felt a surge of satisfaction. For months, she had treated me like her personal bank account, like I was too weak to stand up to her. Now, she was finally facing reality. And it was glorious. If your roommate suddenly had to face all the bills she dumped on you, would you feel guilty or let her sink? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can receive more sweet revenge stories on this channel. The day Claire screamed that I had ruined her credit, something inside me shifted. For months, I'd been walking around with my shoulders hunched, my jaw tight, my stomach knotted with stress. But in that moment, watching her clutch the bills with shaking hands, the weight rolled off my chest. I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't trapped. I was free. The next week, Claire's behavior turned unpredictable. One moment, she was sweet as sugar. "Hey, Jenna, want me to cook dinner tonight?" My treat. "Jenna, I'll clean the bathroom, don't worry about it." I was thinking we should have a girls' night, just like old times. But the sweetness never lasted. Because the next moment, she'd be snapping at me. "You're petty. You're selfish. You're ruining our friendship." It was like she couldn't decide which version of herself might win me back, the kind, apologetic roommate or the cruel, guilt-tripping one. Neither worked. One evening, she knocked on my door with tears streaming down her face. "Jenna, please," she whispered. "I can't handle all of this. The bills, the calls from the companies, the late fees. I don't know what to do." I set down my book and looked at her. "Do you know what it felt like for me?" I asked quietly. "Every month, scrambling to cover for you while you bought clothes and vacations? Every time I checked my bank account and saw it draining because of your carelessness?" She sniffled, wiping her nose. "I didn't think it was that bad. I thought you could handle it." I shook my head. "You didn't think at all. You used me." Her lip trembled. "So what now? Are you just going to let me drown?" I sighed. "Claire, you're not drowning. You're just finally paying for what you created." When the begging didn't work, she tried threats. "If you don't help me, I'll tell everyone you're impossible to live with. You'll never find another roommate. People will know you're difficult. Don't forget, I was the fun one. You'll be all alone." Her words stung at first, but only for a moment. Because deep down, I knew they weren't true. I wasn't difficult. I wasn't impossible. I was done being her victim. By the second month of bills in her name, I had made my decision. I wasn't going to live with her anymore. I spent quiet evenings scrolling through rental listings. Studio apartments. Rooms for rent. Shared houses with better terms. Finally, I found it, a small one-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood across town. The rent was higher, but the peace of mind would be worth every penny. I scheduled a tour. The moment I stepped inside, I felt something loosen in my chest. The walls were plain beige, the carpet a little worn, but the space was clean, quiet, mine. I signed the lease the next day. The last step was protecting myself. I pulled out the thick binder I had built, every receipt, every Venmo message, every bill I'd paid. I made copies of everything and slipped them into neat folders. One for me. One for the landlord. One for Claire, if she dared to claim I owed her anything. Because I knew her. I knew she would try to twist the story. But this time, I was ready. When I told Claire I was moving out, she exploded. "You can't just leave me here with all this," she screamed, her face red. "What about the rent? What about the utilities?" I calmly set the folder on the table. "I covered you for months, Claire. This," I tapped the folder, "is every dollar I paid. Every time you didn't. I don't owe you anything. In fact, you owe me. She flipped through the papers, her hands shaking. "You've been keeping score?" "Yes," I said. "Because you made me." She slammed the folder shut and glared at me. "You're unbelievable. I thought we were friends." I stared at her evenly. Friends don't treat friends like ATMs. The day I moved out, I packed my car in silence. Boxes of books, my clothes, the teal blanket I loved, my coffee maker, everything that was mine. Claire stood in the doorway, arms crossed, her face a storm. "You're really doing this," she muttered. I hoisted the last box into the trunk. "Yes, I am." She shook her head. "You'll regret it. You'll miss me." I smiled faintly. "No, Claire. I'll miss who I thought you were. Not this." And with that, I shut the trunk and drove away. My new apartment was small, but it was peaceful. The first night, I sat on the floor with takeout containers spread around me, my laptop open, the Wi-Fi working because I had set it up. I leaned back against the wall and sighed, the quiet wrapping around me like a blanket. No arguments. No slammed doors. No bills piling up in someone else's name. Just me, in control of my own life again. A month later, I heard through a mutual friend that Claire was struggling. Her utilities were overdue. She was fighting with the landlord. Her credit had taken a hit. Part of me felt a flicker of guilt. But then I remembered all the nights I lay awake, broken, stressed, while she posted vacation photos online. Actions have consequences. And Claire was finally learning that lesson. Sometimes I think back to the day we signed the lease together, both of us smiling, dreaming about how perfect it would be. I shake my head at how naive I was. But I also smile. Because I learned something important: boundaries matter. Documentation matters. Respect matters. And if someone refuses to respect you, you have every right to walk away. I painted a teal accent wall in my new place, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to. It was my way of saying, this is mine, and no one can take it from me. Every time I look at it, I remember the girl who thought she was too nice to fight back. And I remember the woman who proved herself wrong. If this were you, would you ever forgive a roommate who treated you like an ATM, or would you walk away forever? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more revenge stories like this.